This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Like I said, it took us 11 years to get to this point, so we just wanted to be back where it was.
11 years of hard work up in flames. Coming up, we're going to explain what led up to this Vancouver bar fire that left the owner without his business and his 20 employees without a job. Meanwhile, firefighters from across the state came together last week for an important wildfire training school. We're going to take you into that action, frontline action, coming up here in a special report on Sunrise this morning.
Hey, we are glad you are here with us on this Friday. Can you believe it? We're here already. We love it that you're here, but also we're missing someone. Who might it be? Our Rod Hill. He's out on the Portland waterfront on the USS Montgomery. Good morning, Rod.
Hey, good morning. You know, this has absolutely over the years become my favorite live shot. It's so much fun. We come down here and we get to be live on one of the Navy vessels. As you mentioned, this is the USS Montgomery this morning. I'll get out of the way and Chad's going to show you a little bit of a tour of the ship from the bow. It is a beautiful, beautiful sunny morning out here. This is what they call a multi-versatile ship. Its operations could include at times warfare to other different types of military operations. And despite the enormity of this ship, I'm told it's actually constructed where it can go into pretty shallow water. I don't think you can get this thing in a swimming pool, but that's what I'm told. All right, let's get you to the weather. We're going to have a complete tour of the ship throughout Sunrise this morning. We are clear over the city right now and over the Willamette waters this morning. 57 is the temperature. It's going to be, I would say, at least 5 degrees warmer than yesterday. Yesterday we were in the low 80s. Today 75 at noon, and we'll get up to about 88 degrees for a high temperature. So again, it's Fleet Week, one of the absolute highlights of Rose Festival, and we're aboard the USS Montgomery. They call it the Mighty Montgomery. That's because Mighty Rod's on board. Just made the last part up, of course. All right, here is Chris McGinnis.
Figured we'd see you all decked out in white this morning, Rod. All right, let's get you out the door right now. This is a live look at I-5 up near the Expo Center. The northbound commute here is coming towards your television screen. Wide open on that side of town. We'll switch gears real quick, take you out to the west side, Highway 26 out near Tannisport, and that is rolling right along, as is the drive through Wilsonville. Guys, so far, no crashes, no unexpected freeway delays just yet.
We do have one more traffic note here, though, Chris. A good-sized sinkhole. Take a look at this in northwest Portland at the intersection of 23rd and Northrop will disrupt Portland streetcar service this weekend. It was first reported to the city yesterday. So that part of Northwest 23rd is still open to cars, but PBOT is asking drivers to avoid the area if at all possible. According to its Twitter page, Portland Streetcar will now use shuttle buses to get passengers around that sinkhole.
From northwest Portland to a rescue in southwest, where firefighters pulled a man to safety after he fell over a railing and down a steep cliff. It happened around 9:20 last night off Southwest Terwilliger and Barber Boulevard, just south of OHSU. When rescue crews got there, they found the man had fallen 70 feet down a cliffside. Crews had to use a chainsaw and a rope system to reach the man. After about an hour, they pulled him to safety. The man was taken to the hospital. At this point, we do not know the extent of his injuries.
20 people are out of work this morning after a burglary and arson at a local bar and grill earlier this week.
Right, so the owner says he's making repairs and trying to reopen next week, but fixing all the damage could take months. Dan Finley, the owner of Charlie's Sports Bar and Grill in Vancouver, says he and his wife were in Tennessee celebrating their anniversary when he got a call early Monday morning from the fire alarm company. They said the motion detectors were going off. Finley says the criminals only spent about a minute or so inside after breaking down the door and making a beeline for the register.
I think probably when they panicked, when the alarm was so loud, they dumped their gas through here. They came along here because it burned. They must have dumped some gas or something along here because it burned all underneath the bar and inside of the bar all the way down to here.
Finley is offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. He also plans to start a fundraiser to help his employees while he makes repairs.
In an update this morning, family members of 3 women murdered in the Portland area faced the alleged killer in court. Jesse Calhoun pleaded not guilty yesterday in Multnomah County Court to charges of murder and abuse of a corpse. He's accused of killing Joanna Speaks, Charity Perry, and Bridget Webster. Their bodies were found in secluded areas around Portland last winter and spring. Melissa Smith was also there in the courtroom to support those families. She has questions of her own about what happened to her daughter, Kristen.
It's killing us families. This is a living nightmare to go through this. Nobody should ever have to go through this. And we just want justice.
Calhoun spent the past year in prison in Eastern Oregon on an unrelated parole warrant. He's scheduled to be back in court next month.
The Oregon State Hospital in Salem is at risk of losing federal funding.
Yesterday, the federal agency in charge of overseeing the hospital placed it in what's called immediate jeopardy status. Devin Haskins is covering the story for us this morning. So, Devin, tell us about the latest in this investigation.
Yeah, good morning. This is the second time in the last 6 weeks that the Oregon State Hospital has been placed on what's called immediate jeopardy status. It's also seen a number of investigations come its way over the last several months. The most recent case was announced yesterday. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services said surveyors found the hospital wasn't completing proper hourly check-ins on patients. The hospital says that it is addressing the situation and coming up with a solution that would be less disruptive for a patient's sleep. If it doesn't fix the issues, the Oregon State Hospital could lose Medicare and Medicaid reimbursement. Now, this is the latest in a string of investigations into the Oregon State Hospital. You may remember back in December, the hospital was at risk of losing $14 million in federal funding after a man charged with attempted murder escaped during a transport. He was found 2 days later in a pond of mud. That man was sentenced to 22 years in jail earlier this week. Then in April, the hospital was also placed in immediate jeopardy status after life-saving equipment was found not stored in an organized way. Both times, the hospital took steps to fix the issues and the threat of losing federal funding was removed. Oregon State Hospital said it will submit a plan to get the most recent jeopardy status removed by next week. Drew.
All right, Devin, we appreciate that update this morning here on Sunrise. All right, let's talk about what's trending on this Friday morning. It's National Donut Day. Donuts are trending this morning. So we asked on our Facebook page, what are the best donut shops in the area? And we've got quite a few to share this morning, starting with one of our favorites on the Sunrise Show, Joe's Donuts out there in Sandy, a popular spot for anyone heading up to the mountain to do a little skiing and snowboarding, right? Colleen chimed in. She says Dot's Donuts in Vancouver is her favorite. Kayleen said Pokrov Farm Bakery. Never heard of this one, but Kayleen says it is so good. And we're assuming that you're all familiar with this one. Voodoo Donuts, right?
No.
Nationally recognized Voodoo Donuts. Tim commented on our post saying, I crave the grape and bubblegum flavored Voodoo Donuts.
Really?
He says, the cheap flavored sugar is my kryptonite.
Oh, man.
We will accept your answers for best donut shops in the area all morning long. You can chime in by posting your response to this Facebook post.
You know, there are so many great donut shops. I mean, like Mochi Nut, that's like the mochi type donuts. I mean, obviously,
I'll go with the Cocoa Buttermilk Bar.
I was going to say Cocoa, that's good.
Well, from where?
Yeah.
It's the place, not the donut that we're talking about.
Cocoa.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I thought you said the Cocoa Buttermilk Bar.
And
it's also like
Yes.
it's also like 1,500 calories too. So, you know, just keep that in mind. You might want to share that with a friend or two. Or three. You can go after the show. Let's get you out the door with a look at this. Wow, there's a little strawberry frosting on top of that white donut, right? That is Mount Hood, of course, from Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles. You can see some of the birds flying off in the distance there. We are just a few minutes away from what should be a really, really nice sunrise. I've got a time lapse rolling on this shot. This is the live look from our Chinook Winds Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Really a moody look here with the fog there in the foreground, Cascade Head off in the distance as well. Really pretty pre-sunrise shot as well from our Wells Fargo sky camera. Down there, Rod Hill is somewhere on the USS Montgomery. We'll check in with him in a minute. There's Mount St. Helens off in the distance, and we are waking up to 57 degrees at PDX, 51 right now in Hillsborough, 51 King City and Sherwood, and the big perspective across the state this morning, low to mid 50s east of the Cascades. The cool spot on this map, who is the cool spot? Newport is nice and cool at 45. The beach today will be in the 60s and 70s, so great forecast there this afternoon with full sunshine. Pacific City gets up to about 72. In the Columbia River Gorge, great day for some hiking. Checking out some of the wildflowers as well. A little toasty on the east side. Dallas gets up to about 92, warm to maybe hot in central Oregon. And the farther south you go, south of Bend, there is the outside chance of a thunder shower later today. The same story down towards Burns. Late in the day, maybe a slight chance of a storm for you, 93. Up and down the I-5 corridor, full sunshine and highs in the 80s. Take yesterday, whatever you had on your backyard thermometer, and tack on maybe 2 to 5 degrees. That's what we're in store for today. Salem gets up to about 88, Corvallis 85 with lots of sun in the forecast. Big perspective over the last 12 hours, not much going on here across the Northwest. One thing I am watching that will bring a slight change to the weather tomorrow is that big area of low pressure spinning offshore out in the North Pacific. That will throw a band of cloud cover our way tomorrow. So that'll knock the temperatures down a few degrees and probably filter out the sunshine on Saturday. We go from full sunshine today to some high thin cloud cover overspreading much of southwest Washington and northwest Oregon tomorrow. And I want to point this out as well. If you've got some travel or maybe you're camping this weekend up in the Cascades, this is early Sunday morning. Our modeling has been suggesting there's at least the outside chance of some thunderstorms up in the Cascades overnight Saturday and early Sunday. Outside of that, the state looks gorgeous this weekend. 88 today, so again, well above average, but avoiding the 90-degree heat, it appears. A little cooler tomorrow, a little cooler on Sunday, but all in all, a fabulous forecast.